So this is 40K Little Mermaid here with the video. Not all of you might know that actually in the US here they sold out of nights and had to reorder more so that everybody who wanted one could get one. I slacked off on my pre-ordering. I did pre-order, but I pre-ordered the day before release, so I didn't get mine right away. And then life happened, so I didn't get around to making this video. Now and in this video we're going to be going over how you can Little Mermaid up your night. I did like that. Actually, the guys in the shop pulled out the pictures where you could see that one of the knights had his eyes lit up, and so they pointed out to me, "Hey, somebody at GW did your Little Mermaid thing," and we all got a laugh, and it was much funnier in person than it is retelling you here now. So, going through the steps, step by step. I mean, the first thing that you're going to do, always with any centerpiece model, is you're going to build the base. So I've got a little sandbag here from Pegasus that's going to go on there. I have one guardsman here with the autocannon, and so he's going to be set up with his autocannon. And then I got another injured guardsman who's going to be walking up, pointing and shouting. These are bits from the command squad and I think the heavy weapons team. I don't actually play guard, I just buy the guard boxes so I can use them as casualties and have them doing little insignificant things in the battle. So I had to raise up some elevation so that I could get the autocannon to actually be over the top of the barricade. And when I'm finished, that's where it'll sit, so that it looks like they're doing something. But the part that I think everybody actually cares about is how do you get your knight to light up. So what I have here is the molten Malta weapon that I'm going to be on there, and unfortunately I didn't set my button perfectly. If I bring him in a little on the I'm going to have to move the camera. So up at the very top here, I've got my blue button. I wanted it to be recessed, but it's a little too recessed, so in order to turn it on, I actually have to get something to push in there. So now that we put the button on, you can see that I put blue LEDs here in the Melta. See, a lot of people do red, but Melta weapons to me they're not red, they're blue. So it's an ultraviolet one in here, and we're giving him red eyes. Now this is not where his head's going to be, it's just stuck there, so it's easier for you to see where it would be on the model. Now in order to do this, the legs are nice and hollow. They've got good placement points so that you can easily run batteries up through. And if you wanted to magnetize other weapons, you'll need some connectors here. And I've got them as blue and red, so I know that blue is negative and red is positive. And that's going to give me the ability to put the other weapon on, plug up the wires, and still have that one running an LED as well. In order to, now as I said, the legs are nice and hollow, so it's easy to run wires. But there's such a gigantic hollow inside here that I didn't feel the need to do that. Now I'm going to have to make the cables a little longer, or actually I will just take out the button. Everything's just put together with blue tack right now, so that I can put it together and take it apart. But inside the cavity here, as you can see, there's plenty of room to put all of your wiring and store your battery. In order to be able to change your battery, if you look in the top, there used to be 6 little plugs on top here and 6 recesses that it fit in to make sure it's set correctly. So what I did was I took the drill and drilled these just a tiny little bit so I didn't come through the top. I mean, you see right here I came close, but just took the X-Acto knife and shaved it back down. Everything's good there. and I set my LEDs, or I set my magnets where I want them to go. And actually I have two different paint brushes in the bottom here where I've set magnets on reverse polarity. So when I want to have one set of magnets, it's always good for one brush and opposite from the other. And that way I can set all of my troop arms with the blue one, for example. That way I can move my arms back and forth on any of my troops. So that allows me to snap on and snap off this piece, which isn't sitting right because the blue tack and wires and all that. But once it's all set in, everything's glued, it will go on and off without an issue. Now on the face here, ooh, I think I might have just torched those LEDs. Oh well, that's the part of the math part that you're going to have to do, is you have to make sure that you're running the correct voltage. I've got these two connected together as one circuit. So what that means is that there's equal electricity running to both of them instead of running them in series like these LEDs over here. It goes through one LED and then into the next. That way I can get the proper voltage. Each one of these UAV bulbs uses 3.4 volts of electricity, and these two LEDs use a little under 2. So I'm getting almost 7 and then 2, which brings me to my proper 9 voltage. That way they'll be nice and bright when you look at the model. If I had everything in series, the LEDs would be rather dull in color because they wouldn't be getting their true voltage to really brighten up. But that's all the math portion. There's plenty of other videos about that. But on the head here specifically, if you look on the back, it's already got holes that get you started for drilling out, which is great. So I just took a 1/16 drill bit here and went in through the back, drilled out the hole, came to the front, and it's a little larger than 1/16 on the front here. I didn't want to mess with it too much, so I just took the X-Acto knife and kind of cleared it out so there wasn't a whole bunch of torn up plastic hanging in. Stuck the circle file in there and spun it out, and that got everything great. However, since this body's great, the arm's great, everything's going to have plenty of room for the wires, my head mount is not. The head mount is a solid piece once you put all these pieces together, which they should come apart because I haven't glued anything yet. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to hollow this thing out. I have to do a whole lot of hollowing out so that I have room for the backs of my LEDs to lock in here. And I'm going to run the wires straight out of the back here. And the reason I'm doing that is when these pieces are together, it's pretty much right against the back. It'll be much simpler to just run the wires through the back of the piece here into the middle of the body, as opposed to trying to do something silly like drilling out this section here. Not these holes, those are the hole at the top part, but the back here, and then hollowing this out and running a line through it. It's just a lot more work than needs to be done, especially when the wire is going to be properly hidden once this piece is all together. So the next couple of days here, I'll probably try and get that done. However, the weekend's coming up and it's warm outside, and I will probably not be playing around in here. I'll be outside with the kids. So eventually it'll be done, but that should give you some information on how to wire up your night. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop them below, and I will get to them as soon as I have a chance. You guys have a good one.